I didn't realize how much my business was able to thrive until I was at a point with my job that I didn't want to be there anymore. My business is PJ Customs. It is under the umbrella of N Wells Group LLC, which is a full service media company. However, what people most know me for is my printing services and printing business. So I do all media, mostly printed media, but also social media and graphic media. So that's like the summarized version of it.
Okay, so we're going to take you back into becoming an entrepreneur. Why did you walk away from your job?
Well, for one, I've been doing the printing and media for about 7 years now. So, in fact, in August of last year, I celebrated my 7th year in business. So this year will actually be 8. But in those 7 years, I kind of it was a side hustle, a hobby, or my mom used to always say a paid hobby because I was really doing it for next to nothing. And I got to the point where when I relocated here to Memphis, which I did in 2019, I started to realize that the energy down here around people supporting their businesses was different. And seeing as my business, it specifically targets small businesses, and that's who I serve, it made more sense to just go ahead and put more energy into my business. So in doing so, I got to the point where my job could no longer compete with my business, and it only made sense to walk away because I was walking away from money by giving 40 hours a week to my job.
Okay, so you talk about your business making little to nothing. As a business owner myself, I've noticed sometimes people don't want to pay businesses their value. How do you stand firm on your prices?
Honestly, and I don't want to sound any type of way about this, but I don't struggle with that issue. I don't. Because I think the reason why I stand firm on my prices is because I have gotten to the point where word of mouth is my new advertising. People come to me because I was referred, not because they want something done, which often happens. I often get inboxes or DMs specifically just from advertising. But when it comes to references, they say, well, so-and-so told me about you. How much is this? And if they take, they take. If they don't, they don't. My feelings aren't hurt about it anymore. I remember I used to cringe when I would give somebody my price. Now I'm just like, my price is my price. If you don't like it, feel free to shop around. You'll see from my price that it's actually competitive and my turnaround times are faster. So I really don't struggle with that problem. But to specifically answer your question, in order to continue to deliver my price, all I've done is just build the confidence to my product, which makes it easier for me to deliver my price and not feel cringy about it.
So, gaining confidence in your product, how would one gain confidence in their specific products? Like, how did you go about doing so?
Learn your market. I get whenever somebody reaches out to me and asks me for some kind of mentorship, I personally don't offer mentorship because I'm still in a phase in my business where I wish I did have mentorship myself. However, when people ask me for my own personal advice as far as becoming better within your market, get some mentorship or find somebody's wing you can get up under. There's nothing wrong with asking questions. Even if you don't get a response, you DM somebody who, what they call a business crush. Find yourself a business crush. Even if you don't muster up the nerves to actually reach out to them or DM them or ask them questions specific to your niche, you can at least watch them. And when you do actually build up that nerve to finally reach out to them, you will know what questions to ask where you won't look stupid. So once you learn your craft and you're confident behind it, like there's no questions asked, I can deliver what you're asking for, then you won't have a problem with delivering your prices. You won't. It'll simply just be, this is my price, like it or don't.
Okay. So we can tell you really have a passion with what you do. I know you briefly explained what it is you do. Could you explain in detail your products?
So in detail, like I said, my business is an umbrella. So I do have full service media. But again, what I'm most known for is my printing services, which includes wide format printing. So I do business cards, flyers, banners, retractable banners, X banners, table banners. The list goes on and on. So I print so much that I don't even know my prices anymore. You need to go on my website to know my prices. So I have a plethora of options for printing and the fastest turnaround times in Memphis, if I do say so myself. Period.
As far as, because a lot of people don't want to invest into promoting, how important is promoting in branding a business or a product?
I think it's significantly important. One thing that I always use as a reference is how often do you actually see like a McDonald's advertisement? You still see them, right? But how often do you drive past McDonald's? Literally every day, right? So if McDonald's has to post advertisement and you have a business that's making less than 100K a year, what makes you think you don't? Between billboards, just ads, flyers, postcards, whatever the case might be, people will forget about what is not relevant. And it's not that you're irrelevant, it's just that you're not relevant to them in that time. So if they want to shop with you and they get them some money, they gonna turn around and go shop with somebody else because they done been forgot about you. Not because they wanted to, but because you weren't relevant in the time when it was accessible to them. So advertising, investing money in your business, both on social media and through printed media, is incredibly important. It's the only way to grow your business. You will not, most businesses, I can't say all of them because that doesn't apply to everyone, but most businesses cannot grow organically anymore. You have to get out there, you have to pound the pavement, you have to hand out business cards, you have to hand out flyers, you have to send out postcards. You just have to. There's no getting around it, not in today's society.
And have you seen the difference? Like, I know you work with a lot of companies. Have you seen a significant difference when people book your services versus when they try to do things on your own?
I do. Absolutely. One thing that I say it all the time and I'm guilty for it, and I say it to my clients, and I hate that sometimes it gets delivered the wrong way. When I see someone trying to do things themselves, it's like, well, maybe we could just make these tweaks. What if we changed this? What if we did that? So you start to see better results when you put out better product. That's just the way it is. Because, I mean, just as personally, how many times do you scroll past the flyer and it's your friend? You want to support them. But the flyer didn't catch your eye because it had too much going on. So you continue to scroll. But then a couple days later, you hear about the event. You've been done missed it because you didn't see the flyer, but you saw the flyer. It was just too busy for you to pay attention. See, that's strategy. That's part of graphic design and using media in its full service is to utilize the things that are available to you and put out graphic media that is going to appeal to the masses, and they're not just going to scroll past it.
Okay, so now that you are operating in your gift versus going to a 9-to-5, what are, besides the ones you mentioned, what are some of the other benefits? I know you have your time back. What else?
Naps during the day. My favorite thing in the world is taking a nap during the day. In fact, one of the the vice president of Kroger, here in the Delta division, when I was working in corporate America, that's where I was working. I was working at the corporate office. And during the pandemic, he had actually made a joke. He said on a conference call with literally the whole company on, had stated that the best part about the pandemic was taking naps. And at first I thought he was just kidding, but then he said he started to show the research about taking naps, and he actually kind of encouraged people during their breaks, if they were working from home, to take a nap. And there's so much science behind it that makes you more productive. So getting the sufficient amount of sleep makes you more productive. So instead of getting the right amount of sleep at night, I oftentimes take naps. But that's one of the benefits that comes with being an entrepreneur. So you get to, when it's allotted, I can't say I do that every day, but when time allows, I do oftentimes take a nap. Also, I like going to the gym during the day when no one's there. And just the ability of freedom in and of itself. Just, I can say, I'm going to go do this at this time, and I don't have to ask for permission.
What about taking the cap off of your earning potential?
See, thank you. I hadn't even thought about that. You uncap your earning potential. Now, it's not all peaches and cream now. There's literally weeks when I'll make $200. And I'll be like, what in the world is going on? $200. I made $200 this week, not this week, but but it's happened, and I'll be like, what is going on? And then I realized it's because I didn't grind. I didn't put that stuff out there. I didn't do what I need to do. I didn't do my part. But then there's weeks in fact, I shared with you earlier. There's one day I'll send out $1,800 worth of invoices in one day on a random Wednesday. It just happens like that.
Do it for me, guys.
Right, do it for everybody watching this podcast, for real. Just do it for everyone. But there's days like that. There's literally days weeks where you'll make $200, and then there's other weeks where you'll make $1,800 in one day.
What about that? Because you are extremely ambitious. There are so many people that have an idea and they never act on that idea. How long did it take you to get from I'm not making anything and my business is struggling to my business is really thriving? How much groundwork did it take?
I'm not really even sure how to answer that, because I didn't realize how much my business was able to thrive until I was at a point with my job that I didn't want to be there anymore. So it was always just extra money up until May of last year, when I took a leave of absence and I not tripled, I 2.5 times my salary. And that's when I realized how feasible it was to actually walk away. And that 2.5 times my salary in 3 weeks of a leave of absence, that was a sign right there. So, like I said, I can't particularly answer the question because I'm not sure at what point I would have made that realization, but it did happen because of the chain of events that happened with my job.
Right.
So, but I mean, it started off as a hobby. And to anyone who's thinking about becoming or turning into a hobby into a business, it is doable. But your business has to be scalable. You have to know what you're moving or how you're moving forward, and what items or what product, what services you can sell, or services that you can provide in order to make your business both profitable and offer tangible products to people who are not necessarily in the same community as you. Okay. So,
a day in the life of Nicci Clutch.
A day in the life of Nicci Clutch.
What does your life look like on a day-to-day basis?
Like every day?
Just name one of your days where people, we see you marketing your products online, but just talk about a typical day where you're
so a typical day, I wake up. Sometimes I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, go to the gym. But a typical day, I wake up around 6. Get myself and my son ready, take him to school, and as soon as I get back home, it's grind time. On the computer, I do all digital stuff in the morning. I do all printing in the evening to give people time to get their orders in and paid for by 2 p.m. After 2 p.m., that's when I print. And after that, I get to FedEx before they close, get them boxes packed, and send them off. So that's why my turnaround times are so fast, because I have a schedule. But grind time starts around 8. Nap time starts around 10:30 a.m. If I do take a nap, it's usually between 10:30 and 11. So
okay, you get your nap, but then you're back to the grind.
But I'm right back to it. I have to be, because it's a one woman show. So for now.
Okay. So, is there any advice you would like to give someone who's about to start a business or thinking about starting a business?
Same as before. Find mentorship. Find a business crush. Find some, even if it's not in the same business as you. In fact, that's something that I should say. Don't make friends in the same business as you. T.D. Jakes said it best, and I can't quote him particularly, but one of the things that he specifically said is that you cannot find success in the same pool, in the pool. I can't remember, girl. I'm gonna send you the quote when I leave. But no, seriously.
We'll answer the quote below once you send it to
I will. But T.D. Jakes did say it best when he was emphasizing the fact that your gift might be the gift that God did not give me, and that's why I need you around. But to put yourself in a room with people who all do the same thing, what naturally happens?
Competition. Naturally.
Even if you and I, if we were best friends and you and I did the same exact thing, do you think we could really be friends for long if I see you succeed? If I see your business or your, I mean, obviously I'm gonna cheer you on, but I'm gonna slick be a little jealous, right? Because we do the same thing. Shamika and I, we both have podcasts. She got 100,000 subscribers. Why I don't? We started at the same time. Why I don't? Why she getting 1,000,000 views? I'm only getting 100. It's only at some point somebody will be surpassed, and that's what. So my advice to people who are thinking about starting a business: find mentorship, but don't make friendships in business relationships.
To avoid jealousy.
Right. So but definitely find mentorship. Find someone who you can reach out to, especially someone who's not in the same field as you, just because some questions, even though it's not going to be in the same niche, it's going to still be the same relevant answers. Like, how do I go about doing this? How can I get down to where is the state office? How can I file this? Who can I reach out to for that? Those questions are going to have the same answers no matter your niche, no matter what area you work in. So sometimes it's nice to just have someone who has been in business in any avenue for a very long time, and they could be a resource to you. But find mentorship. Find somebody to ask questions to. That's my best advice, because that's what I wish I'd have done. That's where I messed up. My business wasn't even legitimate until 2019. So, it is what it is, right? But like I said, I've been doing it 7 years, and it was just side money. I decided to try and make it legit, and I had to reach out to people who knew what they were doing.
Okay, I said that was the last question. One more question. How often do you network outside of social media?
I network every day. So one of the people I look up to on social media, for some reason can't think, his name is Josh, but I can't remember his Instagram hashtag or Instagram. However, one of his things that he always says is try to get before 10 people every single day, 10 new people every single day. Think about it. If you get in front of 10 new people every single day, that's 70 people a week. If even 3 become customers, think about it. If even 3. And my customers, I have a 60, I think last time I looked at it, had a 67% return rate on my customers. So if 67% of my customers are returning, that's a 67% retention rate. That means out of 100 people, 67 of them will eventually buy something from me again down the line. So, to answer your question, basically, you got to keep, I lost what I was going to say.
You got to go, keep it going. You got to keep on going.
Yeah, you got to keep on going.
And don't stop.
Yeah, definitely. Just keep going. Don't let nothing stop you.
Be around people who are with the same mission as you, because being around you all, it really pushed me to next level greatness, because you guys hold me accountable, and then I see you winning. It's almost like a magnetic effect. And likeness attracts likeness. So just being around people who are like-minded.
Yeah. And sometimes it's not just the people that are like-minded that you need to be around. It's the people who have connections. Because think about how many people, like oftentimes, you and I both know Tawana. Obviously, that's how we met. That's my girl. Hey, Tawana. But Tawana's put my feet in rooms that I wouldn't have had access to previous to meeting her. Just like in the same sense, my name has been mentioned in room my feet will never touch because of connections that I made with those people. So you don't have to necessarily be invited to those parties. You just need to be connected with those connections, and networking is part of it, because you don't know how much further your business can grow just by opening your mouth to the correct person. Imagine how many times where you don't know who that person is. You're like, hey, my name is Shamika Baxter. I have a podcast. And they're like, oh, hey, I'm actually looking to get in front of a couple new people. And they could be the yes. What they say it all the time. In fact, Les Brown says it all the time. It takes 99 no's to get 1 yes. Sometimes. Right? So what if you got 99 no's? That could be your 1 yes just because you opened your mouth.
Okay, last one. How do you... I promise this
It's okay. It's okay. We got time.
And we will end it on this note. If you had one word to describe your grind, what would that word be?
Ooh. I think it's kind of cliche, but I guess ambition. Is that too cliche?
Wale? Ambition? Yes. We are here in the gym with Nicci Clutch, and she's
in the gym.
That's the name of my business. In the gym is the name of the podcast. GM.